Hello friends! Welcome to Coding Garden with CJ. In this episode, we're going to build a soundboard, a dramatic soundboard. So the idea is we'll build a soundboard. It's going to have dramatic hits, swells, rises, loops, and various songs. I'll play some samples real quick. Something like, let's see, this. Or something like this. And then I think I have like one loop like this. What else? We have risers like this, a cinematic rise. This is just another general rise. What else? Oh, some stings. This one isn't as dramatic, but it's really cool. Cool. And I don't have the audio hooked up to my streaming computer, so it's just coming through my speakers. Let me know if you can hear those sounds okay. But the idea is we're going to use all these sounds. We're going to build a soundboard where you can either click on the sounds to play them, or we'll add some keyboard shortcuts so you can play them. And really, this is in anticipation for a stream that I'm going to do on Friday, where I eat really spicy hot wings while solving code katas. And if you've ever watched the show Hot Ones, they have like this dramatic music in the background. So I'm going to build this soundboard so that I can use it on that stream. Let's say hello to all the people in the chat. Hello, Topher J. Welcome to the stream. Who is first, officially. Hello, Daniel. Hello, Hexception. Hello, Alan. I was going to say Alien. Hello, Alan, who says 2 days in a row. Yeah, baby. Yes, I streamed last night. I'm streaming again today. And I'm going to be streaming again on Friday. Hello, Carlos. Welcome to the stream. Hello, Nessie. Hello, Kevin. Hello, Clay, who is not first, but you're still here, and that's what counts. Hello, Spacey, who's also back again. Hello, Eric. Hello, Winkle. Kevin says the audio is real low. I might spend like a minute trying to get my audio into the streaming computer so you get a better quality sound. Hello, Brian, and hello, Vias. Welcome to the stream. Okay, so I have all those sounds. The first thing I'm going to do is, because I don't want to manually like create a JSON file that has the names and locations of all of these files, I'm going to write a quick node script that like generates a JSON file with the entire directory listing. So that'll be cool. And then we're going to build the UI, which I have not decided what we're going to do it in just yet. So I'm going to send out a straw poll. Let me do that right now. What should I build the soundboard with? So we have Vue, we have React, we have, oh no, this is not good. I want more than just those options. Okay, what should I build the soundboard with? Is soundboard one word or two words? 2 words. Okay, Vue, React, Svelte, vanilla, something else. We're gonna improve spam prevention. Improved spam prevention. Okay, here we go. Let me share this with the people. It never works. Okay, here I'll pull the YouTube live chat up on here. Here we are. Here we are. Pop out. Okay, here is the straw poll. You can start voting on that now. I'm not going to be building it just yet, but you can all be voting while I do a listing of all of the sounds that I have in my directory. Let's also catch up on the chat. My head is covering this. Let's go like that a little bit. Oh, Robin says that they can hear my sounds okay. Yeah, let me get some consensus. Let me just play these sounds really quick. Something like this. Is that loud enough? If it's not, I'm gonna try to hook up the audio to get that going. Hello, Rolando, welcome to the stream. Hello, Kevin. BMax, who says, hi, I've made it for the 3rd time this week, welcome back. And hello, Alka, who says, I've spent a good while building the backend with database and login via Twitch OAuth and a decent front end that lets you upload to an S3 bucket. Very far from finished, but all vanilla, for a sound effect system. So that's really cool. So it's like, you can upload your sounds, then you kind of had like a soundboard or something like that. That's cool. Yes, so the stream should be live right now. Daniel says, I choose Svelte because I don't know what it is. Cool. Okay, people are saying the audio is okay. I think I won't mess with it. I'll leave it the way it is. For when I am legit using the soundboard, I will have the audio hooked up, so it'll come straight through the stream. Okay, cool. So that's good to go. Keep voting on this poll. I don't know if is there a way for me to like pin a message in the YouTube chat. Just like, give me 1 second. I'm gonna make this very visible to people. How can I do this? Do I have the Notes app? Enhance. Can I zoom in? View. Zoom in. Command Shift period. Let's do a little bit of that. Should be good. There you go. Okay, go to that poll. In the meantime, I am going to create a JSON file that has all of the files that are listed here. Cool. So for this, let's create a new file. Let's just call this listsounds.js. I'm gonna go ahead and set up a linter. I'm not gonna set up a linter. I'm just gonna start coding. But basically what I want to do is I want to use node.js to read this directory, go into each of the directories, and then create a JSON file that kind of lists the different levels and all of the files inside of it. So we're definitely gonna need fs for that. And then we need to read that directory. So I can do fs.read dir. And we'll pass in a directory, and actually I'll use the promises API for this. So the latest version of Node has fs.promises, and then all of the fs functions available like read dir, but they return a promise instead of having a callback. So I'm going to use that instead, but what I can do is destructure it. So I'll pull out promises from fs and then rename it to fs. So I can do fs.readdir readdir, pass in the path. So I just want to go to the sounds directory. And then I should get back the files, the file list. Let's see. Now, if we log the files, what do we get? We should get at least that top level directory listing. Okay, let's run it. Oh, I'm in the wrong directory. Go up one, list sounds. Cool, so we get an array that has a hidden file in it, but it also has each directory. So then what we'll need to do is we'll go into each directory and list out the files that are in it. So let's do this. Let's say files dot map. So that's going to give us each file name. Well, actually, let's call these directories, because we know for sure that, at least in our case, they're directories. But typically, readdir will give you back the names of directories and the names of files that are in it. But let's just do let's call this directories. And we're going to map it, which is going to give us the directory name. And then we need to read that directory and list out the sounds. So I kind of want to build up a JSON object. It's going to look something like this. It's going to be an object that has like hits. Hits will be, I guess it'll just be an array of file names. Yeah, so maybe we'll do it like this. It'll have like file name and then something like bellhit.wave, and then it'll just have a name, and we'll have the name without the file extension. And actually, do wave files work in the browser? I hope they do. I didn't even check that. If wave files don't work, then I might need to convert them, but regardless. Yeah, so we're going to build up an object like this, so it'll have like hits, and then all of the hits inside of it. We'll have loops, and then all of the loops inside of it. We'll have music, and then all of the music inside of it. But we're going to build this up programmatically. So we'll start with an empty object. And then for each directory, we need to make sure that it doesn't have a period in the name, so it's not like the hidden file. So we'll say if directory name dot starts with period. If it does not start with a period, then we're going to read it and add it to our object. So we'll say sounds at directory name is going to equal an array, an empty array, and then we need to go through and read the directory and add it into that array. So let's create a function that does that. Do we need to create a function? No, we can just do it in line. Why not? So let's make this an async function. And then we'll do await fs.readdir. And I want to read the sounds directory / that given directory name. We'll make this a template string. I could use like path.join, but I don't think that's necessary in this case. This is just like a quick little script to get things going. And then we'll call this files. And then once we have the files, we need to iterate over them and put them into that array. For now, let's just log the files and see what we get. So let's run it. Cool. And so that goes into each directory and then lists all of the files that are inside of it. So that's a good sign. But now we want to iterate over the files and then push them into this array. So I guess technically we could just map it. Yeah, let's map it. That way we can just say sounds. Do it like this. We'll say sounds at directory name equals files.map. That's going to give us the file name. And then we want to return an object that has, actually, let's just call this file, because I want it to have a file property and then a name property. I actually found yesterday the path module has a nice little function for getting the name of a file. I think, yeah, without the, we could just split it on period. I think we'll just split it on period and then use that as the name. So if we say file.split on period and then grab the first part of it, that's going to give us the name without the like .wave or .mp3 on it. Cool. So that should do it. And this whole thing returns a promise, so we can await it. So we're going to take this whole map right here, and we'll say await promise.all, that thing. And then here we'll say done. And this needs to be an async function. Okay, so we list all of the directories in the sounds directory. Then we map over each directory, make sure that it is a valid directory, it's not like a hidden file. Then we read all of the sounds that are in that directory, and then we create an array with each of the sounds that has the file and the name. And then after it's all done, let's log out sounds to see what we get. Go! Nice. So we have a big ol' object. It has properties like hits, rise, loops, stings, and then each one is an array that has a file and a name. Let's make sure the names all worked out okay. Cool. Yeah, that worked. Now let's just write it to a file. So now that we have the sounds, we'll say await fs.write file. We're going to put it in a file called sounds.json. The data is going to be json.stringify that sounds object we just created. We'll make sure that it's indented with 2 spaces, and it is in UTF-8 format. Okay, here we go. Moment of truth. Go! It says it's done. Do we have a sounds.json? Yes, we do. Those are all of our sounds. Nice. So now we can use this file in whatever app we build to know the location of each of the files and kind of like list them out on the page. Cool. I think one thing I'll do though is let's actually sort the files. Are they sorted by alphabetically? F, G, L, S, A, C, E, F, M, D. Yeah, they're already sorted. Never mind. I guess by default, the directory listing here does it alphabetically. So that's good to go. All right. So we have our JSON file. Let's check in on our poll. Looks like Svelte is winning with 32%. I'm going to catch up on the chat. Cool. Oh, cool. So Alka earlier mentioned that they were making like a sound system, but he says it's not just a soundboard. It triggers sounds from chat events like subscriptions, cheering commands, and stuff like that. Yeah, so if you've ever watched like a Twitch live stream, a lot of times people have that where when something interesting happens, a sound will play. Cool. And hello, Andy. Welcome to the stream. Who voted for Svelte? Awesome. Oh yeah, I didn't put Angular on the list. It does look like Svelte has won by 1 vote over Vue. James Ross, hello, James Ross is saying, anyone remember the Miss Cleo soundboard from like 2002? I think I do. I remember back then there were a ton of soundboards. There was a Jack Black soundboard that I loved. I think it was a lot of sound clips, maybe from Tenacious D. It was from something, but there was like sound clips of him calling a Burger King or something like that and talking about nuggets. And we used to prank call the Burger King in my town and like play the soundboard. But there was like Simpsons soundboards and Arnold Schwarzenegger soundboards. Soundboards used to be a big thing on the web. Hello, Madup. Welcome to the stream. Cat D is asking, could React Native be an option? It could. I feel like that would take a little bit to get set up. And I kind of want to be able to use it on my computer, not on a mobile app. Though that actually is a decent idea. Maybe we'll do that in the future. Daniel Garden is saying, why not just do name and extension? Just so I have to do less work later. Because I could have done name and then extension, but then in the front end, I would have had to combine those two. Now, when I'm referencing the file, I can just reference file, and if I want to list the name, I can just list the name. It is like somewhat duplication of data, but it prevents me from having to like split it later on when I'm writing the front end. Yeah. Ooh, so Alka is mentioning you could use the with file types option in readdir to get directory objects instead of strings. Then you know 100% if something is a directory. That is a good idea, but we're already done, so I'm not gonna do it. But with file types, so I guess that would happen right here with readdir, and then you can pass in some options. Yeah, and then there's with file types. Which I believe somehow we could tell it to only have directories. Yeah, that's good to know. I'm not going to rewrite this, but that is good to know. And then if I did that, I wouldn't have to check this right here because that ds store file is actually a file and not a directory. But thanks for the tip, Alka. Hexception says, I love watching these even though I'm a Java and C++ developer. That's awesome. Alan asked, what is the stretch break thing? Is that something you use at work as well? It is. I have it installed on all of my computers. It's called Timeout by Dejal. I have it set for a 10-second micro break every 10 minutes. Yeah, I think every 10 minutes. And then a 5-minute normal break every 60 minutes. But you can set it up however you want. It's really cool. Hello, Tobias. Welcome to the stream. Kaizen, what's up? Who says killing it with the streams? Appreciate that. Amal says, yay, Svelte. I think Svelte is still winning. Yeah. Winning by 3 votes. We'll build it in Svelte. That'll be fun. I've only built one other app with Svelte, and that was that, what did I build? Was it image search? GIF search. Yeah, I built that GIF search app a couple weeks ago. Hello, Ryan. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, Andy is saying they voted for Vue, but went with Svelte due to the in the moment trend. Yeah, Svelte is very much trending right now. I'm all saying annulled was the best soundboard. Actually, I haven't heard of that one. Okay, yeah, let's build the thing. Or I guess we're gonna use Svelte. Can I like stop the poll? I don't know, it doesn't matter. But yeah, let's use Svelte. We're gonna go to their website, and they tell us how to do it. We use Degit to generate the app. It'll use like the Svelte template. Let's go. Let's do it. So we'll do this. We're gonna call it. I guess we'll just call it soundboard. Let's call it app, because we're already inside of a directory, and I think I'm gonna make this whole thing the Git repo. So yeah, we're just gonna call it app. So once it's generated, we'll install dependencies and then do npm run dev. Okay, so we have this app folder. We'll do npm install. Oh, and you may be wondering what this is. It's my invisible water, slightly invisible. There you go. Cool, so that installed it, and if we do npm run dev, here we go. Do we have a Svelte app? We have a Svelte app. Svelte. Awesome. Okay, so we decided we're gonna use Svelte. Let's do some emojis. Rainbows. Flowers. Okay. So what we want to do first is list each section on the page. So we want a section for loops, a section for hits, a section for music, a section for stings, etc. So for each thing in this object, we want a section on the page. What I will do is I'll go ahead and move these directories into my app. So in the public directory, let's move the sounds into there because they're static files. So that's good. And then the sounds.json, I'm actually going to put it in the source directory, and that way I can just like directly import it in. I won't have to do like an AJAX request, and then it'll be like embedded in the app. So I'm going to put it in the source directory, and then I should be able to import it into my main component. So like in my app.svelte, and actually let's clean some things up. So main.js has us set up with a basic app component, and it has some props. We're not going to need any props for our main app, so I'm just going to get rid of that. And then in app.svelte, this export typically means that you're bringing in a prop, and we don't need a name prop, so I'm going to get rid of that. And we'll just say, hello, Svelte. Ooh, it's working. But let's try to import that sounds.json file. So let's say import sounds from sounds.json. And then in the script, let's just log sounds and make sure that it's actually getting loaded into the app. So if we open up the dev tools, let's put this to the right. They're not logging. This may not work. We may have to actually request it. It's not giving me an error either. Sounds.length. Hello world. Hard refresh. What? Oh, there must be an error in the console. That's probably what it is. Error, unexpected token. Note, you need rollup plugin JSON to import JSON files. Okay, we can do that. So let's look it up real quick. Yeah, converts JSON into ES6 modules. I guess technically I could just define it as a variable and then import it in. Let's see. So if you once you install it in your rollup config, you pass in the JSON plugin, tell it to ignore node modules. No, actually, you can either include or exclude node modules. And then, yeah, why not? This will be a fun little lesson in rollup config. So by default, when you generate this Svelte app, it gives you a default rollup config that just has the Svelte plugin rollup, which basically is the Svelte compiler and compiles your components, node resolve for resolving your imports, the live reloader. Cool. So we can install that JSON plugin and then just throw it into this array, and then our app should be able to import JSON files. So let's do that. Let's kill it, npmi-d for a dev dependency, rollup plugin JSON. Cool. And then we'll need to import it into our config right here. And then we need to use it. So right here, we'll do JSON. I think one of the options was prefer const. Let's do that. What are some other options we can give it? Indent, compact, ignores indent and generates the smallest code. Let's do that. Compact true. What else? Named exports. Don't need that. Okay. So now, if we start it back up, it broke. Unexpected token. What did I do wrong? Did I forget I forgot a comma. Comma goes there. Try again. Okay. So we have our app. If we refresh, we get undefined. Oh, because it's an object. It doesn't have a length property. There we go. Yay! Okay, so we can now import that JSON file, and we can use it. So let's do this. We'll create a variable. We'll call it like sections. And that's going to be object.keys of sounds. So that'll be each of the keys in the object, like hits, loops, etc. And then we want to repeat over those sections to show like a section header for each one. Let's get rid of that H1 style for now. Let's look at the Svelte docs on how to iterate. It has a what do you call it? A handlebars like syntax. Let's take a quick stretch. Whew. Invisible water. The light's kind of reflect. And let's also catch up on the chat, see if anything interesting has happened. Alan says, "You're awesome, taking the time to read and answers to everyone. Real class. Appreciate that." Yeah, Kaizen had it. Might be because of rollup. You were exactly right. So I think like Vue and React, they're all like they hide the Webpack configurations from you, but they're all pre-configured to handle JSON files. This has a very basic setup out of the box. So we had to definitely add that plugin ourselves. Cool. What do we want to do? We want each blocks. So, and each block allows you to repeat over something. So this has each cats. Cats is the variable you're iterating over. And then as you get the property there. And then you do have the index too if you want to use it. Okay. We're going to do something like this. So we'll say each sections as section, and then we'll just throw like an h3 with section inside of it. Let's see what we get. Nice. So we have all the sections. Cool. Let's go ahead and uppercase them because they are titles. So we'll do that in the script so that way it doesn't happen, like, I guess, in the render. So let's do .map. We're going to get each section, and we want to capitalize the first word. So let's say section at 0 to uppercase. Let's fix this. So section at 0 dot to uppercase plus section dot slice 1. So slice will take it's like substring. It'll take a section of the string, and so we want all of the string after the first index. Yeah, because we want to leave off the 0th index, and that should give us capital words. Cool. Let's make these like H2s. Nice. Okay, so we have all the sections, and then now under each section, we want to basically have like a button to play each of those sounds. So we're gonna have a nested each here. So let's do it, and actually, let's put this whole thing in a div. So later on, we can maybe do some stylings, like we have sections side by side or something like that. For now, it's just going to be all down the page. And then, yeah, now we need an each inside of here. And we'll do each sounds at the given section as sound. And actually, that's going to give us access to file and name, so we can destructure it like that. I guess this is destructuring. This is the same syntax that they're using in this example here, where they're iterating over an array of objects and they're pulling off ID and name. So that's what we're doing here. We're pulling off file and name because we're looking at each of these objects that are in the array. So we get file and name. So that's great. We need to close our each. And then for now, we'll throw it in a div, and inside of it, we'll have a nice little h4 with name inside of it. What do we get? Cannot read property length of undefined. Sounds, oh, because we uppercased it, now it's not inside of the object. So let's do this. We'll create an object that has like a human readable name and the actual underlying name. So we want to map and create an object. We'll say that the title is that, and the key, actually, we can just call it section. Yeah. So we'll have section and title, and then now we'll pull those off. So we have section and title, and then we want to show the title in the H2, and we use the section name to reach into the object. There we go. So we have loops, we have anticipation, hits, we have all of those hits, music, we have those, stings, etc. Okay, let's get some styles going. So I want to create like a little sound button. This should be like in a square with an outline, maybe some like hover effects. So let's create a class that's like sound button. Whoa. Like this, it'll have a display of inline block. And then we're going to give each of these divs a class of sound button. And so now they should all appear across. Cool. Let's also give them an outline of, well, let's think about our styles here. So this is somewhat Hot Ones theme, so I might use the same like red, yellow, black theme that I was using last time. On the last stream, I created this sauce viewer And you can see like the texts are like yellow and black. We might actually make little sound buttons that look like this. I think this looks pretty dramatic. So yeah, let's do this. Okay. So for that, let's make the background all black. Are there any styles? Let's see. Yeah, so this index.html is bringing in global.css. Yeah, and this has some predefined styles for the body and such. So the body and the HTML have 100% height and width. Yeah, there are a lot of predefined styles in here. Let's get rid of all of them except for this. And here we'll say background is black. Oh, don't need quotes around that. Black. And then the width is going to be 100 view width. And the height is going to be 100 view height. Let's see what we get. Okay, nice. It's a little... You can see there's some scroll bars here. Let's, for now, we'll make the color yellow. Yeah, I don't like that it's scrolling. I think this should be like maybe 98 view height and 98 view width. Okay, that at least got the width. The height, 97? There we go. Okay, so there's no scrolling. Cool. And let's just see what we have here. So there's the body. And then, okay, so our app element is a direct descendant of the body. That's good to know. So I think what I'll do is in my component, I'll wrap this whole thing in like in a div, and then I'll give it some class which will have some padding and such. So we'll do that. Let's give this a class of, I don't know, like container. And then our container, it'll be a flex box and move everything to the center. So it'll have a width of 100%, height of 100%, and we'll do display flex, justify content, center, align items, center. All right, let's see what we get. Nice. They all go side by side, so we have loops, hits, music, stings, swells, rise. Let's make it a flex direction of column, so it goes from top to bottom. Cool, like that. Very good. All right, let's catch up on the chat, because it seems like people are saying things from the corner of my eye. Hello, Alfred. Welcome to the stream. So Spacey just says, so the rollup plugin takes your Svelte files and turns them into runtime lists vanilla JavaScript. I can see why it's being hyped. Yeah, and so they built plugins for Webpack as well. It's just the one that they recommend on their website has the rollup plugin in it. But it works very similarly to how you would build an app even with Vue and React, because with Vue, there's rollup plugin Vue, and with React, pretty sure there's a rollup plugin, probably rollup plugin Babel, which compiles your JSX. But rollup itself is a build tool, and then this plugin specifically like has the Svelte compiler inside of it. So you're using rollup, but at the end of the day, Svelte is taking these component files and turning them into runtime list JavaScript. Yes. Hello, Danny Fritz. Welcome to the stream. Danny Fritz is asking, is sounds available there? Yes, it is. So the way Svelte works, and I realize now all my styles are getting in the way. I guess I could put the styles at the bottom. I don't think it cares. Let's do this. Put the styles at the bottom, like a view file. But the way Svelte works is anything in this script tag is in scope for your template. So any variable you declare up here, you can use inside of your template, which is pretty sweet. There's no like data object, there's no state, anything here, you can reference it. And then it's reactive automatically. So if you change a variable up here, it'll be reflected in the view as well. And Danny Fritz says that would be a yes. Yeah, because I'm using it here and there. Cool. Spacey is saying, I'm guessing the output JavaScript file from the compiler probably needs to replace the variables that are mutated with something similar to React's use state. No. So I would definitely recommend that you watch the creator of Svelte is Rich Harris. So if you check out on YouTube the recent talk he did about Svelte. Rich Harris? Yes, rethinking reactivity. This is a really good talk that talks about some of the downfalls. I don't know if you would call them downfalls, but talking about like how React works and then how Svelte does it differently and potentially better. And he actually shows some of the compiled code. But what it actually does is anytime a variable changes, it just inserts a little piece of code called invalidate. And when invalidate is called, it knows that anywhere where that variable is referenced needs to be updated with the latest value. So it's pretty slick, actually. But yeah, check out that talk. And hello, Krisu from Germany. Welcome to the stream. Guten Morgen. And Saul, good evening from Honduras. Oh yeah, Kaizen is saying VS Code icons is making the Svelte icons look purty. Let's see. Well, actually, I don't think it knows what to do with Svelte, but the CSS and other ones have cool icons. Maybe I can get an updated icon pack to recognize Svelte, because it's just like that. Those lines there. Hello, Joshua Ferris. It has been a while. Long time no see. It says camp is keeping me busy. Oh yeah, you're at a camp right now. That's awesome. He says, I believe having border box and removing margin and padding will allow you to use 100 view width and 100 view height. Great suggestion. Let's absolutely do that. So by default, the browser has some margins built in. And then let's also make sure there's no padding. And then can we use 100 view width and 100 view height? Yeah. So now that we have that, those scroll bars don't show up. Good call. They are mentioning to use border box, but I don't think we had to do that. We just got rid of the margin and the padding. Cool. Hello, Greg. Welcome to the stream. And hello, Antonio says good night from Brazil. That's great. Kaizen is saying, no, I don't think you have it installed or enabled. Oh, quick aside, let's just see. That should be pretty easy to install. Icons? Oh, I don't have it. I have a different icon pack. Or maybe I don't have one at all. Maybe those are the default icons? I feel like I had an icon pack. Maybe not. Let's install it. Go, 17 million downloads. Oh, okay, I guess I was using SETI or something like that. Okay. Now we did it. And now, oh, there they are. Nice. Nice little Svelte icon. Appreciate the tip, Kaizen. Yeah, that looks nice. And it's got folder icons too. That's great. Okay. Was there any more chats? I see. Yes, and I installed it and it looks great. Okay, let's get a better font going. I believe on this app, I used a Google font. Let's see what it is. Alerta Stencil. So let's get that from Google Fonts. Yeah, that's the one. Let's install it. We need this in our HTML, so let's take a quick stretch. Oof. Yes, okay, so in our index.html, we just need to add the font link there. And then we can set the body font to be that font. Here. All right, let's see what we get. Nice. Cool. I think the other thing we'll do is we'll just make everything text center. So in the container, let's just do text align center. I don't know if you heard that, but there are fireworks going off outside. Cool, now everything's nice and centered. Let's get this sound button going. Okay, so it has display inline block. Let's do an outline of yellow. Did I put the sound button class on there? I did. Oh, I have to 1 pixel solid yellow. Nice. Let's give it some padding. I don't know, 2 M's. Nice. Yeah, now it starts to scroll. Looks decent enough. Do I do display border box, or how does border box work? Because that's what Joshua Ferris was mentioning. CSS border box? Box sizing. Okay. Box sizing border box. Let's try it to get rid of those unnecessary scroll bars. There we go. Sort of. I feel like it shouldn't have the horizontal scroll because, oh. Now I can't even see the top. I feel like I have run across this before, like using Flexbox. Now everything's centered, but it's like off of the page. So actually adding border box brings the horizontal scroll. Horizontal scroll is like random. What's going on? Okay. So my app has a Flexbox. It's just centering everything. And it's going off the page. Let's see what's happening here. Okay, so our container takes up the whole width. And then there are like divs that are off the page. Someone help! What's happening? Well, I guess actually, you know what? I don't want it to be vertically centered. So this really doesn't even need to be a Flexbox. By simply having text align center, everything's just going to go to the center anyways. Yeah, let's just do that. Cool. And that works. Okay, this is way too much padding, I think. Oh, actually, I think it's fine. Let's just add some margin so that they're a little bit separated. Be like 0.25 Ms. 0.5 Ms. I think that's good. I think I want to increase the font size just a little bit. 1.5 Ms. Then it's bigger than the title. It's way too small. 1.25? That's cool. All right, let's add some hover effects. And actually, that is a bit too much padding. Let's just do like 1.5. Yeah, that's cool with me. And hover effects. Okay, so sound button should have a cursor of pointer. So when you hover over it, you know that you can click on it. And then when sound button is being hovered on, we will change the styles. Cool. Yeah, Kaizen mentions, oh, cool, it's 4th of July. It is 4th of July, and all of the people in my neighborhood really like fire. They've been setting off fireworks for the past like month and a half, and I'm sure tonight and tomorrow they're going to be going crazy. It's only the 3rd today. Tomorrow officially is the 4th, but they still fire off fireworks like crazy. I think Danny had some suggestions for my styling, but ultimately I just removed the flexbox because I don't really need it because just doing text align centered put everything centered automatically. So that's good enough for me. Yeah. Spacey is asking, would this be a good use case to use something like grid with repeat and min max to make the buttons all look more uniform? We could. So we could potentially align them to a grid. I think one thing we could do though is if we give them a fixed width and height with like a text wrap, then they'll all look pretty uniform. So like if we say width is 250 pixels and then height, that's way too big, but now they look somewhat more uniform. We do 75. They're all over the place. 100 by 100. It's really weird that they have like a different spacing like that. 150 by 150. There we go. I think that weird spacing was because of, yeah, some like text hovering. Cool. But I believe we could fix this by making the section container a flexbox, because then we could do a vertical center. Yeah. I think I like that. And then if we make the buttons a flexbox, we can put the text exactly in the center too. Flexbox everywhere. I don't know if this would be a good use case for grid, because with grid you would have to specify which row and column it was, or it is, and I think that's a bit too much. I don't know, but let's make first the button a flexbox. So we'll do display inline flex, justify content center, align items center, and that should put the text of the button right in the center. That's great. And then if we make each button container, so this, and I guess actually I want the sounds themselves to be wrapped in a container, because I don't want the title to be a part of the flexbox. So if I put a div around these, and give this a class of sound section, then I can make sound section a flexbox. And then we'll add a flex wrap. So flex wrap. Yeah, and so now they're all like vertically centered too, so that's cool. Nice. And I think, like, are these buttons too big? Are they? I don't know. Maybe. I think they're okay for now. Let's add that hover effect. So when you hover, we'll like invert the colors. So on hover, we'll say background is yellow and color is black. Like that. What if we give them an outline of red instead? That's cool. Boom, 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 boom. All right. Danny is asking, am I planning on using this with a touchscreen? I don't think so. It's really just going to be off to the side on a screen, and I'm going to click it. Do you have any suggestions for things I might need to add if this was a touchscreen? Cool. And any style suggestions? Because maybe my color palette is a little too ugly. I think maybe I want to increase the font size just a little bit. See what happens. Yeah. I think it's good enough for now. Let's just get the sounds playing. So when this thing clicks, we need to call a function that will like start playing a sound or something like that. So if we look at the Svelte examples, we want DOM events, and you can do something like on click. So on this div, which is the sound, on click, we'll want to do something like play sound. And can I pass in a variable? I don't know. Let's say we want to pass in the file. And so now let's define a function called play sound. And let's just log it to see if we actually get it. Yeah, I don't know if we have to create like an arrow function that invokes it. Let's see what happens. Yeah, because right now the way this is being interpreted is when the template renders, it just immediately invokes the function. So my initial thought for this is we give it a function that will call the function like that. I don't know if that's the correct way to do it, or if there's a better way in Svelte. Let's see, inline handlers. Yeah, I mean, this uses an arrow function, event modifiers, click once, component events, event forwarding, DOM event forwarding. I mean, I think that's what we have to do because, like I mentioned before, if I just directly put play sound with file in it, that is invoking the file like when this thing renders. So that's why everything logged to the console. But now I gave it a function that will call play sound. So now when I click it, we see that sound name getting logged. Cool. So for this, we need an audio instance to play it. So we'll create our audio here. Let's say audio dot source. I think we can just directly set it. And we need the full location of it. So we need to actually pass in the section as well, because the section is the folder name, and then the file is the file name. So here we'll get section and file, and then we need to create a path to it. So the path is going to be sounds/section/file. Let's just log that. And then we'll set source to the path. And then is there audio like play? Yeah, audio.play. All right, let's see what happens. I think I like this one. So apparently browsers do support WAV files, so that's a good thing. Cool. So we have a basic working soundboard. Can you just imagine though? Like I don't know if you've seen the Hot Ones YouTube series, but I mean the videos are edited, so in the editing studio they add these sound effects when people are like eating really spicy things. So hopefully I can emulate that live with like the spiciness just hit you. You know? Then we have music. This one's cool. Final boss. This will be for the spiciest hot wing. Yeah, and we probably also want like a like I can press a button to stop all the sounds, but there's some really good suggestions and comments in the chat right now. Let me pull that up. Danny is saying this is perfect for that 2000s shockwave flash sound board fill. Yeah, so it looks not styled very well, but I guess that's kind of the point. Maybe we'll keep it like that. Kaizen is giving us some good suggestions so we can actually make these look like buttons. So if we give them box shadow, and then whenever you hover, it'll translate slightly so it looks like you're pressing a button. I think we should try that. Yeah, and Greg makes a good point. Ideally, you wouldn't have to scroll to see all of your sounds. We could make like maybe some tabs across the top with the different sections, and then depending on the section that you're in, you see those sounds. Yeah. Any suggestions for like potentially how I could show them all on the same page? I guess if I didn't split them by section, then they would all just, so let's do this. Let's get rid of the titles and get rid of sound section and get rid of the div. And I think that's just gonna put them all on the page. Wait, did I get rid of something? Oh no, I still need that. I don't need that. Yeah, and so if I do this, it's just one big board. Maybe I like this because I can put the type of sound inside of the box, and now they're like all accessible, like especially on a screen this size. Yeah, I think I like that. Why have the section separate them like that? Okay, so what we could do is eventually we'll make our container a flexbox, but for now I could let's say like we just add a small with section, and that'll put the type inside the box. Yeah, but now the sound button needs a flex direction of row. Column, sorry. So it's up. Yeah, I think I like that. And then we can make our buttons a little bit smaller. Let's do like 130. Cool. And then now we'll make the whole sound section, well, actually the container should have these styles. Yeah. There we go. And they all fit on the screen. I like that. Ooh, Danny has a good suggestion. I like that. So, all of the buttons are in the same box, but then also we can color code them based on the type of sound. I like that. So, I think I might still keep the type of sound that it is in there, just so you can see it visually. But we can also just make them different colors. I like that. Greg is saying you can use flex to make things resize. Well, I think if we did a percentage instead of a fixed pixel width, then they would resize. if we want 5 across, what's 100 divided by 5? Do 25% height and width. I did my math wrong. Oh, I see. Because if we do percentage, this is going to be 10% of the height, but I want them to have the same ratio. So if I did 10% width and then 10 view width, that should be a 10 by 10. Yeah. And then this will resize that. We can just make them both in relation to the width. Cool. And then if we can also make the font size relative to the width. What happens if we do 1 view width? Very tiny. 2 view widths? Decent. And so now this whole thing is just gonna resize with the screen. Cool. Yeah. But then when I go that big, up here, I'm okay with that. Yeah. Am I missing anything else? Yeah, Kaizen says, coming to cinemas near you. Spacey is saying, I feel a sudden urge to make an HTML5 Novation Launchpad-esque app. Speaking of Novation Launchpad, I think I have one just like right here. Maybe it's not. Oh, here's it over here. I don't know. It's not accessible, but I have one. It doesn't work anymore because it's so old. It's one of the original ones. But yeah. Cool. So we're looking good so far. Let's check back on my README, because Greg did just make a suggestion. Is this only mouse? Would be cool to have to type anywhere to filter. I do have that on my checklist. Let's see how we're doing. So we have the sections. We have the sounds. We're pressing the sound to play. I also want to make it so that you can press the keyboard to play. So like each sound is going to get a key like on the keyboard, so you can press it to play it. And then I do want to add search/filter. And then also add audio controls. So when you're playing a longer sound, like this one, or not that one. Yeah, when you're playing a sound, we can have like an audio scrubber at the top to like pause it or stop it. Cool. Quick question from Olani, and hello, Olani. Or is it Oilani? Olani, I think. I'm starting with web development, going to build my first site. I have some knowledge with programming logic in C++ and Java. I'm studying HTML and CSS right now. What framework should I use? I guess I would suggest if you haven't started with JavaScript yet, just get familiar with like basic JavaScript. Do some code katas, then learn about the DOM. You could potentially use jQuery, but nowadays you don't really need it. Just learn like how does the DOM work? How do you manipulate a web page? And once you have that down, you can move on to a framework like React or Vue. I prefer Vue. Vue is usually a lot easier for beginners to pick up. But React requires you to have React forces you to learn JavaScript much more and much better. Yeah, I would suggest make sure you know a little bit of JavaScript, learn about the DOM, and then pick a framework. But if you ask me, I would say pick Vue, but at the same time, React is pretty popular too. Yeah, and Kaizen has the exact same suggestion. That's cool. Harsh Patel says, I'm really inspired by your coding style. Thanks for amazing streams and projects. It really helps to understand real workflow of the project. Thanks again. You are very welcome. Thanks for tuning in. Okay, so on my to-do list, we have these things. Let's kind of tweak the styles. I liked Kaizen's suggestion of making it like a button. Okay, let's do a box shadow. I am not at all familiar with box shadow syntax, so let's see what happens. So sound button, box shadow. Does it work like that? It does. Definitely don't want it to be green. Yellow. Oh, I guess we can make it red. Yeah, so then it kind of looks a little bit 3D. And then hover, transform, translate. Well, actually, we want it to, okay, so when you hover, let's see. Transform, translate, 3 pixels, 3 pixels. So that's gonna move it up and to the right, or down and to the right. Yeah, so like, it seems like it's moving slightly. And then, and then we can have on press, let's see. Sound button, is it active when the mouse is down? And then translate it back to nothing. That looks cool. I'm down with that. All right. Someone else made the suggestion. Yeah, Daniel says add CSS transition to the color. Yeah, let's do that. So on hover, well, actually, we can put it on the sound button itself. We'll say transition color 1 second linear. Is that how that works? Yeah. But not color. We want background. And we'll do it over like 0.25 seconds. Can you transition multiple? Like, can I do like that? Or will that just break it? Yeah, that just breaks it. How do I transition multiple things? Comma? I guess I could just do transition all. Yeah, that works. I missed this question earlier from Panjal. Hi, CJ. What do you love most about software engineering? There was an explosion outside. Fireworks are going off. What I love most is solving real-world problems, making people's lives easier. So I work at a consultancy, and clients come to us and want us to build applications that solve their problems. We build apps that make them more money. We build apps that make their processes more streamlined. Yeah, and so the things that I do help people, and so that's what I really love about software engineering. And I really do like problem solving as well. So you're given an interesting problem in any domain, and you have to figure out how can we solve that problem with code. And that excites me, keeps me interested. I love my job. I love coding. So yeah. Let's catch up. Oh, another suggestion from Pranjal, please build a web app using mass emailing. So I think you mean like email marketing. That would be interesting. Um, yeah, good suggestion. And hello, Matthias. You haven't missed much. I haven't put it on Git yet. We have the app. We can click it for sounds. I think I want to take Danny's suggestion and give each of the different sections a different color, so they're visually different. And Kaizen is saying the button should move into the shadow. Oh, good call, good call. Okay, so the translate would move it into the shadow. No, it should be on active though, right? Yeah, that does it, because you see now it moves into the shadow, because you so when you click it, it then goes into the shadow. It makes it look like it's a button. Cool. Okay, and Danny is saying active is also the state after you've done a gesture end event on it. So if this were a touchscreen, I guess that would be a gesture in would be like touch up, and that would make it look like a button on mobile as well. Jitesh says, and hello Jitesh, how about the controls pop up in the same box as the sound is playing, like you've just flipped a card by clicking the button? That would be interesting. I think the thing is, right now, I'm using one single sound instance, like one instance of audio. So that when you click a different button, the sound totally stops and the other one plays. And that's kind of how I want this thing to behave. So technically, the controls wouldn't be for that individual sound. It would be for overall. So that's why I think I'm going to put some controls maybe at the top or something like that. One thing is, yeah, I was gonna say, if I press the same button twice, does the song restart? And it does that automatically. And I guess and that happens because we're resetting the source, and maybe that triggers a reset. So that's cool. Okay. Really, Cygnus is saying less pad and more shadow. Let's do it. So less padding would bring the buttons a little bit more together. Or sorry. Maybe that's what you mean. So less margin. And then box shadow, 5 pixels. I think I'm okay with that. Yeah, we'll leave that as is. And hello, Pijo. Welcome to stream. Pijo asks, did I miss the obligatory talk about Quasar? Also, what's up? To Kaizen. I haven't talked about Quasar, but I did see Quasar is version 1.0. They released version 1.0, which is very interesting because now it's, I guess it's stable. I guess before, it hadn't made it to version 1.0 yet. So now it's an officially a stable release. It can be used in production. So if you're not familiar with Quasar, it's a framework around Vue.js that allows you to build apps that share code and can run as a hybrid mobile app, can run inside of Electron, can run in the browser as a progressive web app, but they can share all of the same code base to build like a totally cross-platform app with Vue. And they have components which are material design inspired. So it's a component framework as well as a framework for building like cross-platform apps. Thought about using it in the past, but now that it's officially 1.0, that's good news. Yeah. Okay, and Danny has a suggestion. So I was trying to do transition on the background color on the background and a transition on the color, but what he was mentioning is if you want to do that, you actually separate them with a comma. So I could have actually done background comma color 0.25 seconds linear. I think I'm okay with just doing all because those are the two properties that I want to transition. So that's fine with me. Cool. See you later, Kaizen. Enjoy work, drive safely, or commute safely, however you get there. Matea says, I just love the way you talk about software engineering in your videos. I was lacking of enthusiasm to coding because college made me feel afraid of trying and failing. It's been 4 months that I'm not afraid anymore and coding more and more every day. Thank you, CJ. You are very welcome. It excites me that you're excited about coding. If I do anything on this channel, it's incite people to have fun coding and build things, and yeah, well, that's awesome. Yeah, Gaurav has the suggestion, can you make each row a different color? I think we're going to do that next, and it's not going to be each row, it's going to be each type. So all of the hits will be one color, all of the music will be one color, stings, swells, rises, etc. Yeah. Josh is saying you should disable text highlighting. Oh, like that? Pranjal has a question. What's the difference between Redux and Redux Saga? They are not different. You would use them in conjunction. So Redux is your state management library. Redux Saga is a library that you can use to handle asynchronous actions with Redux. Redux Saga might be synonymous with Redux Thunks or Redux Promises. It's basically a way to do async actions with Redux. Hakan is saying, I think removing the shadow when active would give a press button look. Let's see. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, because it's supposed to move into the shadow. Let's try it. Can you do box shadow none? Is that valid? Yeah. But the only thing is, because I have transition all, now the box shadow is transitioning as well. I actually don't think I want the box shadow to transition as slow. I want that to be fairly fast, because otherwise it looks like a slow button press. So let's do this. We'll do background 0.25 seconds linear. We'll do color 0.25 seconds linear, and then we'll say box shadow 0.1 seconds linear. So that, yeah, it's a little bit faster. We can slow it down just a little bit, 0.15. Excuse me. Also, what I'm noticing is the sound doesn't trigger until the mouse goes up. So instead of on click, I think we actually want to do on mouse down, which would make it, yeah. So the moment you press it, the sound triggers. Cool. Okay. Yeah, Muhammad is saying, hi CJ, I just woke up from sleep and now I'm seeing the stream. I remember you built another soundboard in vanilla. How is this different? This is different because I'm just using different sounds. And these specifically are going to be for my Hot Wings Code Katas episode where I'm eating spicy wings. And I'm making this soundboard for dramatic effect when I eat very spicy things like this one. Yeah, but that soundboard I think is actually at soundboard.now.sh. Yeah, I built this one a long time ago. And this just has things like this. So yeah, I'm building a very similar one, but just with different sounds, and I'm building it from scratch this time with Svelte instead of vanilla. Yeah, but I think we're gonna do a similar thing where we have the keys on top of the buttons, so people know what they can press to trigger them, and spacebar to like kill all the sounds. Yeah. Cool. Appreciate it. So I think Josh made the suggestion to disable text highlighting, and they do have a little snippet here that will disable text highlighting, and we'll disable it on the entire app. So we'll do it in global. Can I format this prettier? There we go. So now, yeah, you can't select text. Code katas will be on Friday. I need to go ahead and schedule the stream, but it's going to be Friday around 6 p.m. Interesting question from Pranjal. Hi CJ, when you went to a hackathon last time, what did you build? Let me think, what was the last hackathon that I went to? It might have been one that was for name.com. So name.com is a website where you can buy domain names. But they have a hackathon called Hack the Dot, where at the beginning of the hackathon, they present a unique domain name, and everyone has to build an app around that domain name, and then whoever wins the hackathon gets to keep the domain name. I'm trying to remember what the domain was last time. I think it was jazzhands.consulting or something like that. We made like a really dumb app. A more legitimate, not legitimate, but a longer hackathon that I went to, because typically the Hack the Dot hackathons only last, I think, like 2 hours. But I went to a 24-hour hackathon that was hosted by Mondo Robot and Avery Brewing Company. So they make beer, and they're based out of Boulder. And they had a hackathon where they released some data from the tap rooms at Avery Brewing, which was like what beers are on tap, how much beer is left, that kind of thing, and you had to build an app around that. So that one was fun. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, Sandy Ross is saying get rid of the box shadow when clicking. I think we've done it. Boom! Yeah, Greg is saying sound types not aligning on the bottom is making me OCD. I think you're right. Let's see. If I do justified content space around or space between, oh no, that does that. Space around? Not quite. This could potentially be a use case for grid. I could have a grid with 2 rows, and the section name appears always in the bottom row. Yeah, you're right, Greg. That's that's very it's not the best. Quick stretch. And Mayur asked the question, finally caught your stream. What are your thoughts on Svelte? Actually, I think I answered that during, was it like, it might have been a morning tea or something like that. But check out, search my channel for Svelte. I posted a video on my thoughts on it. I think it's really cool. I think most frameworks are gonna go in this direction in the future. Yeah. Um. Oh, Spacey has a suggestion. Could you relatively position the button, then absolutely position the small text at the bottom? Yeah, actually, I think I can do that. So let's just say section title. And we could do position absolute bottom 0. Well, will that work with this thing as a flexbox? Let's see. And then now this has position relative. And if we give this small a class of section title, yeah, that puts it all the way at the bottom. Cool. And so instead of the bottom, what if we did like 3 pixels off the bottom? 1. Oh, pixel. Yeah. And actually, we should probably do it relative because these things resize. There we go. Yeah, so they all should be lined up, and now they all kind of like resize too. Cool. Okay, I'm gonna hide the chat so I can code because I've been just reading the chat and not coding. So the next thing I did want to do was make these a different color. Maybe I should just get a color palette because this yellow and this red are really harsh. So let's cite coolers, something like that. The super fast color schemes generator. Generate. No tutorial. Okay, let's explore and let's find some color themes that are like red and yellow based, or that have some reds and yellows in them. I kind of like this one. This one's cool too. Let's go with this one. Oh, this is based off of Slack? Wait, no. This is just an ad for Slack. But I think I like this because I could do the background as purple and then rotate through these 3 colors. Yeah, background is purple. The color is going to be like this yellowish. The pink, I guess, could be the outline. And then we could rotate between these 2 greens. I don't know. I want something a little bit harsher because these are like lighter colors. Yeah, let's search for things that have yellow in them. Yellow and black? Actually, I think I can... If I like choose this one, I think I can lock the 2 colors and then generate. Does this app do that? Yeah, so let's lock this red and lock this yellow. And then generate a new color. And usually they're complementary. Kind of like that one. Oh no, it didn't lock. Go back. Go back. Yeah, I want to lock this yellow and this red. Generate. I like that one. We're going to go with this one. Okay. So this is going to be our red color. So anywhere we have red. Yeah. Yeah, it's just here. And then anywhere we have yellow, we're going to use this. I think I have that in my global CSS too. I'm actually going to get rid of the color yellow in my global CSS and set the color here in the container. There we go. It's like a lighter yellow. And then now we can rotate between these three colors to be the background color. Okay, so let's do this. We'll say colors is going to be an array with that one. That one. And that one. Let's get another one. Ooh, this could be our black color. So I think in our global CSS is where we set the background color. Let's make it this. It's like slightly black. Cool. Okay, this is another interesting color. So we'll put that in our colors array. And like one more. That's an interesting color too. Oh no, my yellow went away. Okay, lock these two colors. Generate. Okay, that's a cool one. Okay, now that we have these colors, we're going to rotate through them for the background of each thing. So on the sound button, yeah, the interesting thing about this though is I don't think I can do a custom hover color. Like I think they'll all be yellow when you hover over them, and that's okay. But I can do a computed style based off of a variable. So if we look at the Svelte examples, animations, actions, classes. So you can bind a class. I don't think I want to do that though. I think I want to just directly set the background color. See other styles anywhere? Styling. Let's just try. I think I can do just like a style attribute. Do like a template literal, maybe? Let's just try saying background is colors at 0. Let's just see if we can do that. That works. Cool. So instead of doing at 0, we kind of just want to rotate through the array. So if we grab the index, we can like mod it. So if we do, will be I mod colors.length. We don't want that. We want that for each section. So we'll use the section index. Cool. That's an ugly orange. So let's find a different color for the orange. Actually, all of these colors are pretty ugly. I guess if we change the color to be black, I'm gonna get rid of that second color because that just doesn't work. Cool. Still don't know how I feel about this. I'm gonna look at the chat, see if anybody has any suggestions. Where are we? Greg asks, will the keyboard shortcuts be auto-assigned? Yeah, so I'm just gonna say, like, this is Q, W, E, R, T. I'm just gonna, like, go through the keys. So that it's just, like, it lines up with the keys on the keyboard, yeah. Matea says, have you seen that Google will drop Java and start working on Flutter and Fuchsia? What are your thoughts about it? I haven't seen that, but I did know that, I think Flutter, is it Flutter? Google made another native Android language. I forget what it was, but I'm pretty sure that they were saying that that's going to be the official language for it going forward. But yeah, I don't know much about it. Hakan is asking, what's a good source for a quick start on Vue? Check out some of my videos. I have like how to build a to-do app with Vue. If you search for Academind on YouTube, he has a full video series on the basics of Vue. Those are really good. Yeah. My ear is saying, is it just me or autocomplete for Svelte and VS Code is super annoying? I guess I haven't noticed it. I mean, I think in our script file, we should, I was getting autocomplete. Yeah, because if I do like audio, it's still giving me like script autocompletes. I don't know. Danny is saying, got to use some CSS bars. I guess we could have done that. We could have defined some variables at the top level and then reference them. This seems to work though. Yeah. Spacey is saying, could you construct a new audio object per click to allow music and spooky noises to play at the same time? I could. I don't think I want to. Like, I want it to be so that when you click a sound, that's the only thing that's playing. Yeah. Daniel is saying, keep the background color as black, but only change the color pop property. Let's see. If we made this color instead, and it's really hard to see. We could choose some brighter colors though. Yeah, like this on top of black should be pretty visible. Wait, was that first one visible? Not very visible. Okay, we're gonna replace that one with this. Let's see what it looks like. That's visible. Give me another one. This will look decent on top of black. Yeah, that works. I think this will look okay on top of black. Quick stretch. Ah, yes. Where was it? From Jitesh. Kotlin is the new language for Android. Yeah. Kotlin is the one that I was thinking of. Oh, and hello, Amy. Amy has some suggestions. slate gray for the background, medium teal for the box accent, and light gray for the button colors, but slightly different for each, like a slightly different gray for each. I like your suggestion, but I think it's too much code for me to write right now. So we'll just see how this works. This goes. Yeah, I'm okay with this. This is fine. I guess let's add like 1 or 2 more colors. Yeah, like this one. Okay. And I guess we could do it that the border and the shadow match the color of the button. Yeah. I guess the issue here with on hover, we actually want the we do want the color to change to black, and this inline style is overriding our hover class. So let's do this. Probably a better way to do it, but yeah, this makes it so that the text is black when you hover. Okay, I'm not gonna spend too much more time on styling. Let's look back at my README and see what else I wanted to do. Yeah, press keyboard to play a sound. So what I want to do is assign keys to all of these, and then press the key to be able to play that sound. Okay. What I should probably do is as I'm going through the sections, I should assign a key to each sound. So that way it'll be easy to find the sound based on the key, and I can actually display the key on the button. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're already mapping over the sections to get their names. So we'll just map over the sounds inside of them to give them a special key as well. So ultimately this map needs to return what it was returning before, but now that we're already iterating, we can now iterate over the sounds inside of a given section. So we can say sounds at the given section dot for each sound, and then we want to give it a key, so we can say like sound dot key equals something like Q, and then we'll also have something like keys at Q equals sound. So when a button is pressed, we can immediately reach into that keys object and grab the sound that we want to play. But yeah, let me figure out what keys we're going to use. Yeah, I think my whole app's going to break. Let's go ahead and just make this keys be an empty object for now. So I want to do QWERT. Yeah, so 5 across, 5, 5. Well, it won't exactly match up with the keyboard. I think I'm just gonna do the QWERTY keyboard all the way across. So it's gonna be like QWERTY, and then across like the top row, and then go down to the next row. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. So let's say, do I want to type out all these keys? What's the easiest way to get the QWERTY layout in JavaScript? Do I have to type them all out? I just might. Oh no. Oh, I have 2 Y's. I O E A S D F G H J K L Oh, someone was saying I could do start with the numbers and then A. Yeah, I could do that too. Let's do numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. I don't know how many sounds I have, but I think that should be enough. Let's take a quick stretch. Danny has a good suggestion though. Move the pink and the purple further from each other. So let's see which ones are pink and purple. Oh, you're right. Yeah. So music and stings. So this will be 1, 2, 3, 4. So 3 and 4. I need to switch. 1, 2, 3, 4. So yeah, let's put this one like after the yellow. There we go. So music, stings, and then swells. I might even switch. Well, that's fine. It's fine. That's better though. Okay, and how many do I have? I have 5 times 4. I have 20 sounds. So technically, I don't need this many letters. I only need up to like P. We'll do that. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to didn't want to do that. Ah! I'm gonna wrap these in quotes. So we have all the strings. Okay, so now I got a bunch of cursors. We're gonna wrap all of those in quotes. So we have all of the keys, and then as we're iterating, we're gonna put them into this keys object. We probably need a counter of like which key we're on. So let's say like let current key starts off at 0, and then we're just gonna gradually increment it. So we'll say sound.key is gonna be keyboard at current key, and then keys at the current key, keys at keyboard.current key equals the sound. Cool. And then we'll say current key plus plus. So now we'll have an object that has the letters with the reference to the sound next to each one, so we can instantly play that sound. And then now each sound has a key property on it, so we can display that key on the button. So let's do that right here. We want file, name, and key. And for now, we can display the key there. We give it a custom class of key. And then let's do something interesting. So let's give it a font family of fixed width. Is that a thing? Monospace. And font size very, very small. Too small. And let's put it at the top of the button. So we'll put it there, and we can do a very similar thing like we did with section title. So we can give it a position absolute, and we'll do top 1 view width. So that'll put the button, the key that it is, at the top. Cool. Let's make it a little bit bigger. Yeah. People have some suggestions. I could just have a big string instead of having an array. That is true. Here, I'll copy this. I do need to keep track of where we are in the keyboard though. So I don't just want to use. I would have to do object.keys.length to figure out where we are. And object.keys. I mean, it wouldn't make a difference here, but having this variable means I don't have to call object.keys every single time instead of this for each. So I'm okay with the current key variable. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, now let's make it work. So we need an event listener. So like, I guess I think we'll just do, yeah, like we're in Svelte, but I think we can also just say like document.add event listener. Is that a thing? Like you wouldn't really ever do this in Vue. You would have like a top level listener on the top element. But this gets turned into raw DOM code anyways. Let's just do it. So we want key down. Okay, so now yeah, any key that I press will trigger this. And so this has a property called key. So I can say, oh, this is gonna be tricky. I don't know what section it is. I need to grab the section. So when I put it on keys, I need to put sound and the section name. Like that. Okay. So here I can say play sound with, let's grab the keys. So we'll say keys at key. Yeah, so sound is going to be keys at e.key. So that's going to give us the thing inside of this object. And then we need to do, it's gonna be like sound. Let's destructure it. We want the section and the sound, and from the sound we want the file. So here I can say play sound with that section and that file. The other thing though is I want to have that animation, right? So I think this should work. So if I do like, yeah, that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. What is 9? It's just a hit. So that works, but I want the animation to play whenever I press the button. So can I like set the active state on an element? Yeah. Yeah, and good call. Sandy Ross is saying uppercase the keys. You were right. Let's actually just do that in line here because the key as it comes across in the event is lowercase. But let's just do this, that to uppercase. Nice. We'll increase the size just a little bit. Can barely see it. Okay. But yeah, I want to apply the active class whenever I press down. What's this? This one? Hi, I'm CJ. Welcome to Hot Code, the show with hot code and even hotter wings. Let's just add this real quick. We'll do if they press the spacebar, we stop all the sounds. What is the spacebar? Key is literally a space. Code is space. I'm just gonna do this. We'll say if e.key is equal to the empty space, then return audio dot stop, pause. So if we press the space bar, let's pause it and then reset the time of the audio. So I think I'm gonna do audio dot current time equals 0, so it goes back to the beginning. Okay. Yeah, spacebar kills it. So. Okay. Spacey is saying, call focus on the element and then make the CSS select focus as well as active. Oh, actually, I could do a class binding. Yeah, I could do like a set timeout. So like bind the class to be active. Yeah. Okay. So sound button active is here, but I'm also gonna name this like sound button dot active. So this is gonna be a totally separate class. And then when you press the key down, I can set like current button. Actually, because it won't be. Yeah, I want sound button active. I want these properties to apply to sound button active as well. So I'm going to do this here. But when they press the sound, I can have a property up here that's saying like sound playing. Yeah, or playing sound. So I can do, let's do this. Let playing, say current sound. Current sound is initially nothing. But then I can have a class binding on this div here. There's a whole lot going on here. Let's indent some stuff. Well, that's not good. I don't want that. Okay, but I believe I can do class sound button active. And that's going to be if current sound is equal to I guess equal to the key. Because I'm destructuring it, so I don't want to put the whole sound in there. I guess I could just use the name. They all have unique names. So if current sound is equal to name, then sound button active class will be applied to the div. And so what I can do is in this play sound event, but we're not passing in the name there. I really only want this to happen when it's key down. So right here, I could do current sound equals that name, and I can destructure it here and grab the name. So if I press 2, it's, whoa! Yeah, it's active. But I actually do want to, I probably want to do a set timeout to remove the active class from it automatically. So let's just do a set timeout of like 500 milliseconds and then set current sound back to nothing. Okay, so even less than that, 100 milliseconds. Let's see, like. Cool. And hello, Ollie, who says it's 6:32 a.m. in Egypt. That's awesome. Good morning. Yeah, Spacey says that class syntax is so nice. It's pretty sweet, right? So all we had to do is we say class sound button active. So we want to apply the sound button active class if current sound is equal to the name of this sound. Current sound is just a variable in our script, and whenever the key down event listener gets called, we just set current sound. And then 100 milliseconds later, we set it to nothing, so that will remove the class. Pretty sweet. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you could realize it, but I'm pressing keys. Watch. W. This one. I just thought of something. So this technically is a loop. So we could make it so that when we press a loop, it actually loops the sound. Can you set that on an audio? Can you say like audio.loop equals true? Yeah, let's do this. So let's say if section is equal to loops, audio.loop equals true, else set it back to false. We'll do audio play after that. And I think the section is called loops. If we look in our sounds, yeah, it's called loops. There's only one in there, but I think that should do it. So now if I play the loop, it should just keep looping. There's a slight pause at the end, but it does keep playing. And now it shouldn't loop any of the hits. Yeah, it doesn't loop those. Cool. This is looking great. Let's look back at my README. Here. Okay, so we can press keyboards to play the sound. That's great. Search and filter sounds. That should be easy enough. I think I'll just add like a little input at the top, and if you start typing, it'll filter over the sound name. So let's do this. Actually want, let's just see. Input class is filter box. And let's just give this a style of 100% or a width of 100%. Cool. Like 80%, not that. 100%. I guess I do technically want my container to have some padding. Let's see what that will do. So if I say container padding is like 20%, might be too much. Yeah, that's way too much. 2%. Then it like pushes it down. I really only want padding left and right. So 0 pixels top and bottom, 2% left and right. Yeah. This filter box is still going way too wide. I kind of want it outside the container. Let's put it outside the container. It's just at the top. And we'll put it inside a form and then like style the form to only be like, I don't know, like 60% of the width or something like that. So we'll say filter form has a width of, no. This is going to be the flex box. So this is going to be width 100%, display flex, justify content center, and then the filter box is going to have a width of like 60%. So that should put it in the middle. Whoa, what's happening? There we go. So yeah, now it's in the middle. Yeah, and then we can give this a little bit of margin. Like pushes down a little bit. Cool. And let's make our boxes a little bit smaller so they stay on the page. Let's do like 9 view width. 8 view width. Yeah, and actually this might be where we do use grid to align it as like always a 5x5. I don't know. I'm not gonna do that right now. And there is some weird scrolling issues here. I'm not gonna fix that. Okay. Let's give the filter box a font size of 3 view width. It should be like a giant box. Yeah. And I want to be able to type bell hit. Oh. When you're typing in the filter box, it triggers the sounds. We don't want that. We don't. So I'll have to fix that. But yeah, as we type, it should actually filter them. Let's see. Snail is asking, will I come to the Brazil JS conference? I didn't plan on it. Actually, it's pretty expensive to fly to Brazil, isn't it? Yeah, I didn't plan on it. That would be interesting, though. I'll look into it. Yeah. Yeah, so I definitely need to disable key down whenever I'm filtering. But let's do this. I also want to change the font inside the filter box to be the same font. Let's grab my font family. Here we go. This one. So if I put that in the filter box, we should get a nice, interesting font in here as well. Yeah. Okay, so how do we actually filter the sounds? If we look at the Svelte examples, I believe, yeah, we can do text input binding. So we can bind the value of the input to some variable, and then we would need to create a filtered array that automatically updates whenever the value of the input box that we're bound to, whenever that changes. So first, let's just get that bind going. So on here, we're going to say bind value to filter, and then we'll create a variable called filter. Starts off as an empty string. Now, as we start typing, it should change under the hood. I guess just to show that, we can put a little H3 right here with filter. Did I do that right? Bind :value equals value. Oh, is it off to the right? Let's put it inside the container. Yeah, there it is. So yeah, as I start typing, that variable is updating, so that's good. And hello, Danielle. Welcome to the stream. Happy 4th of July. Cool. Okay, so that variable is being bound. That's a good thing. Now we need to create an array that automatically updates anytime the filter changes. So for now, let's just write what that filter would look like. Let's take a quick stretch. And actually, this is going to be tricky because we have the sounds split up into sections. Yeah, and we want to hide the entire section if none of the sounds match. Actually, that's okay, because there would be nothing in that array, so it wouldn't even iterate. Okay. We kind of need to iterate over sections like this. So let's say filtered sections equals this. We don't need to do any of this business anymore. Actually, no, we shouldn't have to because those values are already going to be set because they were set when the app started up. So that should be fine. But really, we need to say, yeah. Filtered sections is going to be that. Okay, and then we can say the sounds for a given section are going to be sounds at that section dot filter. Get rid of all this. That's going to give us the sound. And we only want to return if sound.name matches a regular expression with the current filter. Regex is going to be a new regular expression. So we want this to be a case insensitive match. And this is just going to be filter. So whatever the user typed in, we've created a regular expression with it that's case insensitive. And then here we'll say if the name matches that regular expression, we want that sound to show up. Cool. Awesome. Yeah, and so some people in the chat are mentioning it. We need to use this $sign syntax. So in JavaScript, this is like a labeled syntax, but Svelte has repurposed it for declaring like reactive variables, because basically we want these filtered sections to update anytime filter changes, and so it needs to know that it needs to update under the hood. Yeah, and I guess if this is the empty string, then it should match it. So yeah, so instead of const, we can do $sign. And now this filtered sections will automatically update. So we should iterate over filtered sections, and then that's going to give us section, title, and sounds. And then now we can just do iterate over the sounds. Did we break anything? Oh, here's the other thing. I'm getting these like weird key errors. So like in our key down event listener, we need to make sure that that the key actually exists in the keys object. So we'll say if keys at e.key. So if not key at e.key, just return. So if they pressed a key that's not one of the sound buttons, don't run that. Okay. So now if we search for bell, I have to disable the sound playing. Cool. The other thing I could do is match that sound if the section matches. So let's say if the name matches or section matches. That way I can search for hits. And it only shows the hits. Or if I search for music, it only shows music. So I need to update this so that if you're typing in the filter box, it doesn't play the it doesn't use the key down listener to play the sound. I'm wondering, do we have some sort of like focus event? Or like, how can we check if an element is focused? We have like refs. Component bindings. So really what I want to be able to do is inside of my listener here. So this is the listener that's listening for key down and playing sounds. And really what I want to see is if something like filter box dot is focused, then just like return. I want to be able to do something like that. Yeah, and so there are some other suggestions here. Vias is saying make the input box a component, but like technically, like I don't want to have to click here to be able to listen for click events. I want it to listen on the entire page, because otherwise I would have to click back in every time to make sure that it's listening. So really, I just need to get a reference to that element, and I can check if it is focused. Let's just search for like Svelte element ref. API docs. Template syntax. Runtime. Yeah, I mean, I guess just do I just do a an element selector? I think that's what I'm gonna have to do. Just use like regular DOM manipulation. Check if element focused. Svelte. Not getting good results. Decorate. Let's see. Autofocus. Yeah. So I'm trying to see if there's anything built into Svelte that's going to help me with this. Otherwise, I am just going to use regular DOM manipulation like document.activeElement or something like that. And then that means I also have to do like a query selector to grab the input box. Yeah. Because like the thing is, like in React, you would create a ref and then access the ref. But I'm just curious if Svelte has refs. Ooh, somebody's doing refs here. It is from 2018, so maybe it's not. It's not for Svelte 3, but let's see. I have like this ref colon syntax right here, ref date, and then I'm guessing they had date in their script. Yeah, and this is Svelte 2.0 because you can see it looks a lot like Vue.js, so it has like data, lifecycle hooks, methods. Svelte 2.0 used to look very much like Vue, but the latest version 3 has changed all the syntax. Let's try that. Let's say let input box, and then I'm gonna try to put a ref on here. The ref directive is no longer supported. Use bind this equals input box instead. Okay, let's try it. Okay, So now I have a reference to the input, and then here I should be able to see if it's focused. Let's just log it inside the key down. Yeah, so I have the input box. And then the element, is there a is focused function on DOM elements? JavaScript DOM input check if focused. I could use something like document.activeElement, but I want to look directly at the element itself. Not that. Detect if input is focused. That's with jQuery. Okay, this equals document.activeElement. Let's do it. If input box is equal to document.activeElement, return, and don't try to play the sound. Okay, moment of truth. It works. Cool. Awesome. Okay, let's fix this flexbox. So this thing is a flexbox. We have text align center, justify content center, flex wrap wrap. Why? Why is there so much space between them? But look at the elements. Div, 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 div. Yeah, I guess I don't want align item center. Align items flex start. But what's up with this big old space in between here? Like, I am doing a, weird. Maybe I just need to use grid. Yeah, what if I did this? Instead of making the container a flexbox, yeah, I still want text align center. But what if I did display grid? Okay, by default, we only have one column. Grid. I don't know CSS grid. Let's look it up. There's that CSS tricks article that's really good. Complete guide to CSS grid. So we're doing display grid, grid template columns. So really, I want to do like 5 across and 5 down. 40 pixels, 50 pixels, auto. I think there's also that repeat thing. Yeah, so let's just do repeat 5 auto. So grid template columns is repeat 5 auto. And that should give us 5 columns across. Yep. That's great. Wow. And really just like based on the number of sounds that I have, it automatically creates like a neat little grid. Let's make them a little bit smaller. I guess there's grid spacing, right? Take a quick stretch. Yeah, and there's a chat from Spacey. Spacey says you can use columns without specifying the rows. The grid will make new rows to fit the items. Yeah, and so that's what's happening here. I didn't specify grid template rows, and it automatically knows to just like split it into separate rows. Can I change the... Actually, and so now if I did width and height as 100%, it should take up 100% of... never mind. I was thinking it would take up 100% of the section in the grid that it's in, but maybe not. Like, what if I want, yeah, so let's just do this. Let's set up the grid template rows as well. Okay, so now we have 5 rows. But what if I want the item that's inside of it to take up the full area? Like, I guess, what if I didn't specify a width and a height? Will it just take up that section of the grid? Yeah, it does. Cool. That's great. Why is it going all the way across? Let's... I guess before people were telling me box sizing, border box. It's still too much. Cool. Okay. And I guess if we made this grid 80% height and 80% width, we'll stay inside. 70. Let's do this. We'll do it both relative to the width. So that way it should be square. Cool. Are they all the same size? I think they are. Cool. Yeah. Thing is, yeah, I had the width as 100%. But it goes too far. Oh, is that because of the padding on inside my Wait, what? Shouldn't they all be the same size? I guess if I give it a height of 100% too, then that should make us a square square grid. Let's do it as width. So if I do width is 90 view width and height is 90 view width, it should be a square. That's not a square. Okay, people are giving me suggestions. You got to make the grid element width 100%. I did that. Viter is saying padding. Yeah, so I have padding on the I had it on the buttons, but now that I removed that, they're different sizes. Let's see what else I had. Oh, they have a margin too. I don't need that anymore. Okay, that's making things super weird. I feel like if I have the same amount of rows and columns, they should all be the same size, right? Especially if, okay, so the container is 90 by 90. Let's do like 60 by 60. And I would expect that each cell is the same width and height because I have the same number of rows and columns, but maybe not. Maybe I'm missing something. Yeah, okay, so the grid has a width and a height. What's 100 divided by 25? Wait, no, 100 divided by 5. It's 20. So if I make the width and height 20%, It should be a square, right? Oh, that's what I'm missing. I'm using auto, and Muhammad just suggested FR, and I think so auto um, sizes based on content, but that makes them all the same width and height. I think that's the winner. Yeah, cool. Appreciate that. Yeah, because I had it as auto, which is the size. Okay, that's what was doing it. Let's go bigger. 85. Cool, I like that. I really want to fix the fact that I tried border box. I think I'm gonna have to do something like this. Get rid of those scroll bars. Guess there's like weird padding somewhere. I don't know. Okay, so that's awesome. Now I kind of just need to make the whole thing a flexbox so that it can center the grid. Or I guess if I did margin 0 auto, would that... Oh, there's padding on the container. Okay. Yes! We did it. It took us a while, but we got there. And so now, the reason I did that was if I start searching, now they all align to the grid. Awesome. Cool. I'm gonna do this though, filter.trim. So that way if I accidentally type a space in here, it doesn't search for things that have spaces. Cool. And this should all, yeah, it resizes beautifully. Great. Play the ta-da sound. Let's do it. Oh, no. I got a better one. Which one is it? This one. No, this one. Or this one. Cool. All right, let's look at my README. Anything else I need to do? Okay, so we can search and filter. Show the audio controls for loops and songs. I don't know if I want to do that anymore. I guess we could. Yeah, and really it's for music, because like maybe we just have like a pause and play button up here. So you could pause the sound without totally stopping the sound. I think that's what I'll do. Let's do that. And let's play this song. There we go. Someone just mentioned set rows to 4. The only thing is if I set rows to 4, then they don't have the same height and width. I need the same number of rows and columns. So that's okay with me. I could actually do on the body overflow none, overflow hidden, and then the scroll bar will go away. Yeah, the only thing is like at different resolutions, it does go below the page. So I'm okay with the scroll. Okay. Yeah, play button or a pause button. Let's have a little button right here we can click to pause and unpause the audio. Make a div. I think there's a Unicode value for like pause, isn't there? Yeah. Oh, we could use an emoji. I'm down with that. And is there a play one? Yeah, we could like use. Yeah, we could show whether or not if it's playing or not. Okay, so I think we can do something like this. Let's grab or figure out how to do if else in Svelte. So in Svelte, if blocks, we want an if else block, something like this. But we'll say if audio dot probably like is playing. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But if it's playing, we want to show the pause emoji. And if it's not playing, we want to show nothing. Yeah, the button shouldn't even be there. So I think we'll wrap the whole thing in an if. Yeah, so let's see if this will autocomplete for us. Audio dot is playing. I'm gonna have to Google it. I don't know how to check if an audio element is playing. JavaScript audio is playing. Check if audio is playing. If it's not paused. If it's not paused, then it's playing. Okay. So if, where are we here? If audio dot paused. If it's not paused, then we want to show the pause button. Why is this complaining? Tempted to close an element that was not open. You sure about that? Do I need a closing tag there? Let's say, like, if I play the music. Oh, there is no else. That's why. So, I don't need to use the else anymore. I just need to close out the if. Like that. So now, I play... Yeah, there it is. So, I want this to have like a width of... Wait, am I styling the right thing? I feel like the the form increased whenever I increased the margin and font size on this button. I don't want that to... Yeah, I'll just do font size. Okay, cool. So yeah, these are all the styles that I want for that pause button. Give it... Well, actually, I don't even have to... Well, I do want to... Do I want to specify width? Let's see. Yeah, I don't need width. I just need margin and font size. Okay. Let's give this a class of pause button. Okay, so if I'm playing, and then I should be able to press that emoji to pause the sound but not stop it. Because right now I have the space bar set up to totally stop the sound, but I want this to pause it. Actually, do I? What is my space bar doing? Oh yeah, I'm pausing it and resetting it. But if I click the pause button, I just want to pause it. I don't want to reset it. Okay. So we want to click on whenever this div is clicked. Really, whenever this thing is clicked. So I think you do on click equals audio dot pause. So that's gonna, yeah, that's gonna pause it. We do need an arrow function. Okay, so that should pause it, but the moment it pauses, that thing's gonna disappear. So we actually do want to display a play button. So if we do, let's play something. Yeah, that pauses it. Wait. If it's not paused, this should disappear. The audio is paused. Let's try doing the else thing. I've confused myself. Yeah, Kaizen says, whoa, still going. How long have I been streaming? 3 hours! Jeez! Oh, that's a good call. Well, no, yeah, Danny is saying, is it because the audio object is not reactive? The button does pop up when we play a sound, so that would make me think that it is reactive. Right, so like, when the page loads, it's not playing, or it's not there, but then if I start playing, it shows up. But then it doesn't disappear. Yeah, maybe we need to make it reactive. Let's try that. That did not work. You know what? I'm gonna scrap this play pause button for now because I've been streaming too long and I should probably go. Yeah, I'm just gonna get rid of this. It was fun. It was fun trying, but no pause button for us. Okay, let's look at the masterpiece that we have created. We have cinematic hits. Or like a softer hit. Some ambient hum background noise. I don't know if you can even hear that. Actually, I did see something a second ago from Danny. Yeah, Danny says, might consider using vmin instead of vw for responsiveness. What is vmin? I've never heard of that. View minimum? vmin is 1/100th. Vmin is equal to the smaller of VW and VH. Okay, I like that. Let's do it. So where do I have VW? Quick stretch, but we're gonna go after I update this. Vmin, font size, vmin. Yeah, I mean, I guess technically our box shadow should be relative to the view width as well, because otherwise we'll have some like very large shadows comparative to the width. Yeah, that actually made things a lot smaller. That's cool though. Cool. I think I need to make the button have a background of black. Wait, what was our black color? This color. Because you can see when I do this, it shines through, but there is no background color on that sound button. Yeah. So now it's like yeah, and now I might actually increase my my relativeness, right? Make it bigger. Yeah. Go a little bit bigger on the sound button font size. That's too big. 2.5. Yeah, cool. W3 Develop says, kick-ass tones, dude. Appreciate that. Cool. Okay, yeah. Here, let's play this music. Which one? Thanks for watching Coding Garden with CJ. Tune in Friday for Code Kata's Hot Wings edition, the show with hot code and even hotter wings. Until next time. No, I'm not gonna end the show like that. But this was fun. Thanks for watching. As I mentioned it, on Friday, I am going to be eating hot wings while solving coding problems, and the hot wings are going to get progressively spicier, just like on the show Hot Ones. I actually ordered the last dab, but it's not going to come until Monday, so unfortunately I'm not going to have that hot sauce. But I am going to have Blair's Mega Death Sauce, which is 550,000 Scovilles on the Scoville level. That'll be the hottest sauce that I try. But the point of this app that I built is when I am about to eat that Blair's Mega Death Sauce hot wing, I will play this music. Yeah, so it'll be fun. Tune in then. I'm gonna I'll schedule it pretty soon and it'll pop up on the channel. But yeah, see you all then. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Thanks for all the questions and hanging out with me. Yeah, so wherever you are in the world, have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, or night. Until next time, here's this.